As ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that we often overlook in our noisy, fast-paced world: the power of focusing on yourself and staying silent. In a world driven by social media, constant feedback, and a culture of comparison, it's all too easy to lose sight of who we are and what truly matters. Every day, we are bombarded with external voices telling us how to think, what to wear, what to believe, and who we should be. This external validation, the desire to seek approval from others, has become almost second nature. But if we are to truly grow, evolve, and walk in our purpose, we must shift our focus inward, embracing the power of self-reflection over the need for validation from the outside world. External validation is often seen as a form of reassurance, a way to confirm that we're on the right track. It's human to seek approval, to want to be accepted and appreciated by others. However, the problem arises when this need for approval becomes the driving force in our lives, influencing our decisions, shaping our identities, and dictating our self-worth. When we rely too heavily on what others think of us, we become slaves to their opinions, and this leads to a constant cycle of insecurity, doubt, and self-questioning. The truth is that external validation is fleeting. It's dependent on external circumstances, and it can change from moment to moment. What one person praises you for today may be criticized tomorrow. People's opinions are shaped by their own perspectives, their own experiences, and their own insecurities. If you anchor your self-worth in the ever-changing tide of others' approval, you will never find true peace or stability. On the other hand, self-reflection offers a foundation built on understanding your own values, desires, and strengths. When we take time to reflect on ourselves, our actions, our choices, and our emotions, we gain a deeper understanding of who we are and what we truly want out of life. Self-reflection allows us to step away from the noise and look inward, to ask ourselves important questions like, what am I passionate about? What do I stand for? Am I living in alignment with my values? These questions are not just for self-improvement, they are for self-acceptance and empowerment. In moments of self-reflection, we come to realize that we are the only ones who can define our worth. When we stop seeking validation from others, we free ourselves from the chains of external expectations. The process of self-reflection allows us to connect with our true essence and recognize that our value is not tied to the opinions of others. It is inherent in who we are, in the unique gifts and talents we bring to the world. Moreover, self-reflection gives us the ability to learn from our mistakes and grow from them. Unlike the validation we seek from others, which can often be shallow and disconnected from our actual experiences, self-reflection is rooted in personal insight. It allows us to analyze our failures, understand why we made certain decisions, and use that knowledge to better ourselves. When we reflect on our mistakes, we don't see them as failures, but as opportunities for growth. We don't need others to tell us we are worthy or capable. We see it in ourselves. We become our own greatest source of motivation and encouragement. When we shift our focus to self-reflection, we also begin to build resilience. The more we trust our own judgment and decisions, the less affected we are by the fleeting opinions of others. We stop seeking the approval of the crowd because we already know who we are and what we stand for. External validation may give us a temporary sense of satisfaction, but it is self-reflection that allows us to build lasting confidence. With this internal foundation, we no longer need to compare ourselves to others or measure our success by their standards. We define our success by our own progress and growth. In the process of self-reflection, we also learn the art of self-compassion. We become more understanding of our flaws and imperfections, accepting them as part of our journey rather than something to hide or be ashamed of. We learn to embrace the fact that we are imperfect beings, and that's okay. We are works in progress, constantly evolving and improving, and we no longer feel the need to conform to the perfect image that others may try to impose on us. The power of self-reflection lies in its ability to bring us back to our center, to help us realign with our true selves. While external validation can be enticing, it is ultimately empty if it is not built on a foundation of self-awareness and personal authenticity. The more we look inward, the more we come to realize that the only validation we truly need is the validation we give ourselves. And when we can do that, when we can truly reflect on our lives and find peace in who we are, then we are no longer at the mercy of others' opinions. We stand firm in our own identity, empowered by the understanding that our worth is not determined by anyone but ourselves. In today's world, where communication is constant and the need to be heard is often prioritized, silence can seem like an anomaly. People are encouraged to speak up, share their opinions, and always be present in the conversation. The louder the voice, the more attention it attracts. But in the midst of all the noise, there is a profound and often overlooked strength found in silence. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, but a tool of power, purpose, and reflection that can profoundly shape our lives in ways we might not immediately understand. Silence has often been misunderstood as weakness or passivity. In a society that values action, expression, and constant interaction, silence can feel like an uncomfortable pause, a void that needs to be filled. But in reality, silence is a force that holds immense power. It's in the quiet moments that we find clarity and strength that words cannot convey. It is in silence that we are able to center ourselves, regain our composure, and tap into deeper parts of our mind and soul that are often drowned out by the noise of the world. One of the most powerful aspects of silence is its ability to foster self-reflection. When we take a step back and embrace stillness, we give ourselves the opportunity to listen not to the opinions of others, but to our own thoughts and feelings. In a world where we are constantly surrounded by external distractions, silence creates the space for us to reconnect with who we truly are. It allows us to process our emotions, understand our desires, and make sense of our thoughts without the interference of outside voices. This power of self-reflection is essential in helping us make sound decisions. Often we rush to act, driven by external pressures, societal expectations, or the opinions of others. But when we take time in silence, we create the mental and emotional space necessary for thoughtful consideration. In the silence, we can listen to the still, small voice of intuition that can guide us toward choices that align with our true purpose. It is in these moments of quiet that we are able to hear our inner wisdom and make decisions that are aligned with our authentic selves, rather than reacting to the chaos around us. Silence also has the ability to strengthen our emotional resilience. In moments of distress, confusion, or overwhelming circumstances, silence provides an opportunity to gather ourselves. When the noise and the drama of life seem to be pushing us in every direction, silence serves as a refuge. It offers us a sanctuary where we can regain our strength, collect our thoughts, and find inner peace. By taking a step back and refusing to engage with the noise of the world, we allow ourselves the space to heal and to rise above the turmoil. It is in silence that we learn how to respond rather than react to the challenges and obstacles that life throws our way. Furthermore, silence can be a powerful tool in communication. In a world where people are often quick to speak and quick to be heard, silence has the power to convey more than words ever could. Silence can communicate depth, understanding, and intentionality. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do in a conversation is simply to listen. When we are present in the silence, we show others that we value their words, their emotions, and their perspectives. We allow them to speak freely without the pressure of having to fill the air with our own thoughts and opinions. In doing so, we create space for deeper, more meaningful connections and interactions. Moreover, silence can act as a shield of protection. In a society where opinions were constantly being thrown around, it's easy to become overwhelmed or even influenced by the voices around us. By choosing silence, we are able to protect our energy, our focus, and our peace of mind. Silence allows us to discern what is worth engaging with and what is better left untouched. It is an act of discipline that prevents us from becoming consumed by the trivial noise of the world, enabling us to prioritize what truly matters. Silence can also be an act of strength in conflict. When faced with negativity or confrontation, the urge to defend ourselves can be strong. But in many situations, responding in silence is more powerful than any words could be. A silent response can show that we are not easily provoked, that we remain in control of our emotions, and that we refuse to be pulled into unnecessary drama or conflict. Silence in moments of tension can communicate wisdom, patience, and a refusal to be distracted by what does not serve us. Perhaps one of the most profound aspects of silence is its connection to inner peace. In a world full of constant activity, silence is a reminder that peace does not come from external sources, it comes from within. The more we embrace silence, the more we realize that true peace is found in the stillness of our hearts, not in the chaos of our surroundings. Silence helps us tune out the external noise and tune into the calm that resides within us. It is in this peace that we are able to find strength, clarity, and a deeper connection to our purpose. In embracing silence, we tap into a power that transcends the need for constant approval, constant action, and constant noise. Silence is not empty, it is full. It is full of wisdom, strength, and clarity, offering us the opportunity to pause, reflect, and recharge. It's a gift that allows us to cultivate resilience, deepen our relationships, and live more authentically in a world that is often too loud to hear our own voice. In a world that constantly demands our attention, where the chatter of daily life never seems to cease, the pursuit of inner peace can feel like a distant, almost unattainable goal. Every moment of our day is filled with noise, whether it's the hum of traffic, the constant ping of notifications, or the never-ending demands from work, family, and society. We are told that success, fulfillment, and happiness are found in the hustle, the noise, and the busy pace of life. Yet, amid all this, many of us feel a deep sense of unrest, as if something is missing, as if our true selves are being drowned out by the constant bombardment of external distractions. But what if the key to finding real fulfillment, happiness, and clarity lies not in accumulating more noise, but in choosing peace over the chaos around us? Inner peace is not the absence of external distractions, but the ability to remain grounded and centered, regardless of the noise that surrounds us. It is a state of being where we have the strength to remain calm, focused, and in alignment with our true selves, despite the turmoil and distractions that may arise in our lives. One of the most powerful aspects of inner peace is its ability to keep us anchored in a world that is constantly shifting. Life can be unpredictable, and the external noise from opinions, expectations, and demands can often make us feel overwhelmed and lost. The key to finding stability in the midst of uncertainty is cultivating inner peace. When we are grounded in our sense of self, when we are in tune with our values, beliefs, and purpose, the noise around us doesn't have the power to pull us off course. The more we cultivate peace within, the less affected we become by the chaos outside. Inner peace allows us to respond to the world around us with clarity and intention, rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally to external stimuli. Too often, we let the noise of the world dictate our moods, our actions, and our thoughts. We react to the opinions of others, the demands of our jobs, and the pressures of our environment without taking a moment to pause and consider what truly matters to us. This reactive state is where much of our stress, anxiety, and confusion stem from. But when we take a step back and prioritize inner peace, we gain the space and clarity needed to make decisions that align with our true desires, rather than reacting to the noise of the world. In the pursuit of inner peace, we must learn to quiet the noise, not just the external noise, but also the internal noise that often creates the most turmoil. Our minds are filled with a constant stream of thoughts, worries, and judgments. We worry about the future, ruminate on the past, and get caught up in the endless cycle of comparison, doubt, and fear. This inner noise can be just as disruptive, if not more so, than the chaos outside. But by practicing mindfulness, meditation, and self-awareness, we can learn to quiet this inner chatter. We can train our minds to focus on the present moment, to let go of worries that don't serve us, and to cultivate a sense of calm and presence in every situation. Inner peace also comes from setting boundaries and learning to say no. In a world that constantly demands our time and energy, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the needs and expectations of others. But to truly find peace, we must be willing to prioritize our own well-being. This means knowing when to step back, when to say no, and when to disconnect from the noise that drains us. By protecting our time and energy, we create the space necessary to nurture our inner peace and restore balance in our lives. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is an act of self-respect and self-care that allows us to show up as our best selves for others. The pursuit of inner peace also involves embracing stillness and silence. In a society that values productivity, action, and constant for stillness can feel like an indulgence or even a luxury. But stillness is essential for reconnecting with ourselves. It is in the quiet moments that we gain insight into who we truly are, what we truly want, and what we are truly capable of. Stillness allows us to listen to our hearts, hear the quiet whispers of our intuition, and reconnect with the peace that resides within us. The noise of the world may be loud, but in the stillness, we find our own voice, our own direction, and our own strength. Another important aspect of cultivating inner peace is letting go of the need for external validation. We live in a world where we are constantly measuring our worth against the standards set by others. We seek approval, recognition, and validation from those around us, and when we don't receive it, we can feel as though we are lacking something. But true inner peace comes from knowing that our value is not dependent on the approval or opinions of others. When we are at peace with who we are, when we are aligned with our true selves, we no longer need to seek validation from the outside world. Our worth is inherent, and we can stand firm in it, regardless of what others may think or say. Ultimately, choosing inner peace over noise is about reclaiming our power. The noise of the world will always be there, but we don't have to let it control us. By cultivating inner peace, we take back control of our minds, our hearts, and our lives. We stop reacting to the chaos around us, and instead we choose to respond from a place of clarity, strength, and purpose. Inner peace is not something that can be found in external circumstances. It is something that we cultivate from within. It is a practice, a choice, and a journey that requires patience, commitment, and trust in ourselves. And when we prioritize inner peace, we find that the noise of the world no longer has the power to disturb our sense of calm, our sense of self, and our sense of purpose. In the modern world, it's almost impossible to avoid noise. Our lives are filled with distractions, constant notifications, unsolicited opinions, the hum of technology, the constant rush of social media, and the never-ending stream of information. We are constantly bombarded with voices and sounds, many of which have little relevance to our personal growth or well-being. The problem, however, is not the existence of noise itself, but our tendency to invite unnecessary noise into our lives. We often find ourselves surrounded by distractions that serve no meaningful purpose, and in doing so, we dilute our ability to focus, grow, and connect with what truly matters. Avoiding unnecessary noise is not simply about turning off our devices or retreating from the world. It's about developing discernment, the ability to choose what to engage with and what to let go. In a world where everything is vying for our attention, it is essential that we recognize the difference between what deserves our focus and what is simply cluttering our minds and hearts. To navigate this noisy world effectively, we must be intentional in protecting our mental, emotional, and spiritual space from that which does not serve us. One of the primary sources of unnecessary noise is the constant pressure to be everywhere and do everything. We are often told that in order to be successful, we must be constantly busy, constantly engaged, constantly achieving. Social media has amplified this pressure as it showcases an idealized version of life that emphasizes perpetual activity, constant visibility, and nonstop success. In reality, this type of constant engagement can be exhausting and unproductive. We end up spreading ourselves too thin, focusing on many things but excelling at none. We become distracted by things that don't align with our true purpose or goals. To avoid this unnecessary noise, we must learn the power of focus. Focus is the antidote to distraction. When we focus on what truly matters, we are able to tune out the noise and invest our energy in what will bring us the greatest reward. It is essential to set boundaries around what we allow into our lives. This means saying no to projects, people, or activities that drain us or distract us from our goals. It means protecting our time and energy from the endless demands that don't align with our values. By choosing focus over busyness, we give ourselves the space to thrive and grow in meaningful ways. Another significant source of unnecessary noise is the opinions and judgments of others. In a world that is constantly critiquing and analyzing, it can be easy to get caught up in what others think of us. We often let the opinions of friends, family, colleagues, and even strangers dictate our self-worth. This external noise can cause us to second-guess our decisions, question our abilities, and doubt our own path. The truth is, no one else can walk our journey for us, and no one else can define our value. To avoid this type of noise, we must learn to trust ourselves and embrace our authenticity. We must understand that while the opinions of others may offer valuable insights, they do not define who we are or what we are capable of. By building our own inner confidence and staying true to our own values and goals, we can learn to block out the noise of others' judgments and move forward with clarity and conviction. Self-trust becomes the foundation upon which we make decisions, and it is this trust that allows us to navigate the world with confidence, even in the face of external noise. A third form of unnecessary noise is the constant influx of information. The internet, television, social media, and news outlets deliver a never-ending stream of content, much of which is irrelevant, exaggerated, or designed to provoke fear and anxiety. We are constantly consuming information, much of it not serving us in any meaningful way. This can create a sense of overwhelm, confusion, and disorientation. The more information we consume, the less time we have to process, reflect, and make decisions that are in alignment with our goals and values. To manage this type of noise, we must practice mindfulness in what we consume. We must be intentional about where we invest our time and attention. This might mean limiting the amount of time we spend on social media, curating the sources of information we engage with, or choosing to take breaks from the constant flow of news. By being selective about the content we allow into our lives, we preserve our mental and emotional energy for the things that truly matter. Instead of being overwhelmed by an excess of information, we create space for thoughtful reflection and intentional action. A fourth source of unnecessary noise is the fear of missing out, FOMO. In today's hyper-connected world, there is a pervasive sense that we must be everywhere, do everything, and know everything that's happening at all times. FOMO feeds our desire to keep up with trends, participate in social events, and be part of every conversation. But in reality, this constant striving for more can leave us feeling empty, anxious, and disconnected from our true desires. The noise of FOMO pulls us in many different directions, leaving us spread thin and unfocused. To avoid this noise, we must learn to prioritize what is truly meaningful to us. We must recognize that not everything is worth our time and attention, and that true fulfillment comes from being present with what we value most, rather than trying to be everywhere and everything for everyone. By practicing intentionality in how we spend our time, we give ourselves the freedom to invest in experiences and relationships that nourish us and contribute to our growth, rather than chasing after fleeting distractions that only add to the noise. In order to avoid unnecessary noise, we must also learn the importance of silence and solitude. Silence is often dismissed in today's world, where activity and noise are seen as signs of productivity. However, silence is an essential tool for reflection, creativity, and deep thinking. When we take time to be alone with our thoughts, we create the space to process our emotions, clarify our goals, and reconnect with ourselves. In the silence, we are free from external expectations, judgments, and distractions. It is in this stillness that we find the clarity we need to make wise decisions and live authentically. Avoiding unnecessary noise is not about rejecting the world or disconnecting from others. It is about choosing what deserves our attention and focus. By discerning the distractions that do not serve us and protecting our mental and emotional space, we allow ourselves to create a life that is grounded in purpose, clarity, and authenticity. In a fast-paced world where the clamor of daily life never seems to quiet down, the idea of finding strength in stillness can feel counterintuitive. We are conditioned to believe that strength comes from action, from constant motion, from striving toward the next goal or challenge. Success is often measured by how busy we are, how many tasks we complete, or how many people we can serve at once. In contrast, stillness is often viewed as a sign of weakness or inefficiency, something to be avoided at all costs. However, the true strength that lies in stillness is profound and transformative, and it offers us the clarity, resilience, and peace we need to navigate the complexities of life. Stillness is not merely the absence of movement or sound. It is the ability to remain grounded and centered, regardless of the circumstances around us. It is a state of calm focus where we can tune out the distractions of the world and reconnect with our true selves. In the stillness, we find a kind of strength that is often overlooked, the strength to be present, to listen deeply, and to reflect with intention. This form of strength is not about force or control, but about inner stability and peace. One of the most powerful aspects of stillness is its ability to foster self-awareness. In the constant rush of our daily lives, it is easy to lose touch with our own thoughts, emotions, and needs. We are often swept away by external demands, responding reactively to the pressures around us. Stillness, however, provides the opportunity to pause and check in with ourselves. It allows us to reflect on our choices, examine our motivations, and understand our feelings. When we make space for stillness, we are better able to tune into our inner world and gain insight into who we truly are, what we truly need, and what we are truly capable of. In moments of stillness, we also cultivate emotional resilience. Life is full of challenges, uncertainties, and unexpected events. The noise and chaos of the world can often overwhelm us, leading to stress, anxiety, and a sense of being out of control. Stillness, however, gives us the strength to face these challenges with grace and composure. When we are still, we create the space to process our emotions and gain perspective on difficult situations. Instead of reacting impulsively or allowing our emotions to dictate our responses, we can choose how to act in a thoughtful and intentional way. Stillness teaches us to pause before responding, to breathe before reacting, and to remain anchored in our inner strength, no matter what is happening around us. Another form of strength that stillness offers is the ability to cultivate patience. In a world that constantly encourages instant gratification, it can be difficult to develop the patience needed to navigate life's more complex processes. Whether we are waiting for a desired outcome, working toward a long-term goal, or dealing with a personal challenge, the ability to remain patient is vital for sustained success and emotional well-being. Stillness helps us cultivate patience by encouraging us to slow down and embrace the process rather than fixating on the destination. It reminds us that growth takes time and that true progress often comes in quiet, incremental steps. Through stillness, we learn to be patient with ourselves, to trust the journey, and to remain calm in the face of uncertainty. Stillness also allows us to deepen our connection to the present moment. So often, our minds are consumed by thoughts of the past or worries about the future. We get caught up in regrets or anxieties that pull us out of the present and distract us from what is happening right now. Stillness, however, helps us focus on the present moment to fully experience and engage with what is in front of us. By learning to quiet our minds and still our hearts, we become more attuned to the beauty and richness of the present. In these moments, we find peace, clarity, and joy in simply being. This connection to the present moment is an incredible source of strength, as it enables us to navigate life with a sense of calm and purpose. Furthermore, stillness is a powerful tool for creativity and insight. When we are constantly busy, our minds are overwhelmed with information, tasks, and distractions. This mental clutter makes it difficult to access our creative potential and intuitive wisdom. In the stillness, however, we create the space for inspiration and insight to emerge. Our minds are freed from the noise, allowing us to think more clearly and see things from new perspectives. It is in moments of quiet reflection that we often experience our greatest breakthroughs, whether in problem solving, creative endeavors, or spiritual growth. Stillness opens the door to new ideas and solutions that we might have missed if we were rushing through life at full speed. Stillness also fosters a deep sense of peace. In the noise and chaos of the world, it is easy to become overwhelmed and anxious. Stillness, however, offers a sanctuary where we can find calm amidst the storm. It is in stillness that we connect with our inner peace, our true source of strength. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It comes from within. When we embrace stillness, we tap into this peace and carry it with us no matter where we go or what challenges we face. The peace found in stillness gives us the strength to endure, to persevere, and to remain grounded in our purpose, even in the most turbulent times. The strength found in stillness is not about avoiding action or retreating from the world. It is about cultivating the ability to be present, to stay grounded, and to find clarity in the midst of life's complexities. Stillness allows us to connect with our true selves, develop emotional resilience, and tap into our creative potential. It is through stillness that we find the strength to face life's challenges with grace, patience, and unwavering inner peace. In a world that constantly demands more from us, the power of stillness offers us a vital resource for navigating life with strength, purpose, and clarity. In a world that often encourages instant gratification, indulgence, and following every impulse, the discipline of self-control has become a rare yet incredibly powerful quality. It is easy to give in to the immediate pleasures or desires that life presents to us. However, true success, emotional stability, and personal growth stem from the ability to exercise self-control. Self-control is not simply about denying ourselves pleasure, but about mastering our impulses, making thoughtful decisions, and aligning our actions with our long-term goals and values. It is the practice of reining in the mind and emotions to build the life we desire, one that is intentional and guided by purpose rather than momentary urges. At its core, self-control is about discipline, the ability to delay gratification in pursuit of something greater. In today's fast-paced now society, it is easy to succumb to the pressures of instant access to entertainment, food, or material possessions. Our attention spans are shorter, our patience is thinner, and our desires are amplified by constant external stimuli. Yet, the key to a fulfilling and meaningful life often lies in the ability to control our desires and make decisions based on long-term benefits rather than short-term pleasures. Self-control, in its essence, is a skill that must be developed, nurtured, and strengthened over time. Like any discipline, it requires practice, patience, and persistence. One of the fundamental aspects of self-control is learning how to respond rather than react to the world around us. In moments of stress, anger, or frustration, it can be easy to react impulsively, whether it's saying something we later regret, making a hasty decision, or indulging in unhealthy behaviors. However, self-control teaches us to take a step back and assess the situation before we act. It gives us the ability to pause, reflect, and make a deliberate choice that aligns with our values, goals, and the person we aspire to be. This pause creates space between stimulus and response. And in that space, we have the power to choose how we want to react. By exercising self-control, we can prevent rash decisions that are motivated by emotions or impulses, allowing us to act with intention and clarity. Self-control also plays a crucial role in achieving personal goals and maintaining focus. Whether we are working toward career success, personal growth, or physical well-being, the ability to stay disciplined and committed to our long-term objectives is essential. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of our goals and become sidetracked by the noise of the world. However, self-control empowers us to stay focused on what truly matters. It allows us to resist distractions, avoid procrastination, and make choices that support our progress. When we practice self-control, we build the mental fortitude necessary to push through obstacles, stay consistent, and ultimately achieve the things we set out to accomplish. Moreover, self-control is vital for maintaining emotional health and resilience. Our emotions are powerful forces that can shape our reactions and interactions with others. When we lack self-control, our emotions can control us, leading to outbursts, conflict, and feelings of regret. But when we practice self-control, we gain the ability to regulate our emotions, responding to situations in a way that preserves our peace and promotes positive outcomes. It is not about suppressing our feelings, but rather channeling them in healthy, productive ways. Emotional self-control allows us to manage stress, navigate conflict with grace, and create harmonious relationships with those around us. This emotional intelligence, which stems from self-control, can help us build stronger connections and lead a more balanced life. Another important facet of self-control is the ability to resist temptation. We are all faced with temptations throughout our lives, whether it's the lure of unhealthy foods, the desire to avoid responsibility, or the urge to give in to negative habits. Overcoming temptation requires strength, awareness, and a deep understanding of the consequences of our actions. Self-control enables us to resist these immediate desires, recognizing that the rewards of our disciplined actions far outweigh the fleeting satisfaction of indulging in temptation. This ability to resist temptation fosters a sense of pride and accomplishment, as we begin to see that our ability to control our impulses is directly linked to our success and well-being. The discipline of self-control is also intricately tied to building personal integrity. Integrity is about doing what is right, even when no one is watching. It's about aligning our actions with our values, regardless of the circumstances. The practice of self-control strengthens our integrity as we consistently choose to act in ways that reflect our true principles. By making decisions based on long-term goals and values rather than momentary desires or external pressures, we reinforce our sense of self-respect and honor. In turn, this enhances our confidence and sense of purpose. Building self-control requires a great deal of self-awareness and self-reflection. To develop this discipline, we must first understand our triggers, patterns, and weaknesses. Self-awareness helps us identify areas where we struggle with control and allows us to implement strategies for improvement. For example, if we know that we tend to overeat when stressed, we can develop coping mechanisms that help us manage stress in healthier ways. If we know that we are easily distracted by technology, we can set boundaries for ourselves, such as limiting screen time during work hours. The more we understand our behaviors and tendencies, the better equipped we are to practice self-control and make conscious choices that serve our well-being. The journey to mastering self-control is not an easy one, and it is not one that happens overnight. It requires time, commitment, and resilience. There will be moments when we falter, when we give in to temptation or act impulsively. However, the process of developing self-control is not about perfection, but progress. Every time we practice restraint, make intentional choices, and stay focused on our goals, we are strengthening our capacity for self-control. It is through these repeated actions that we build the mental strength and discipline necessary to navigate life's challenges with resilience and grace. Ultimately, the discipline of self-control is one of the most powerful tools we have for shaping our lives. It empowers us to align our actions with our deepest values, achieve our long-term goals, and maintain emotional balance. Through self-control, we cultivate a sense of freedom from impulsive decisions, freedom from negative habits, and freedom from external pressures. It is this freedom that allows us to live with purpose, focus, and inner peace, creating a life that is truly our own.